Welcome back to Satisfactory, and today we need to do some exploration. Well, first thing is our ingredients for the space elevator tier 5 and 6 still are not done, so they are short on reinforced iron plates going into that machine over there. So to speed things up a little bit, I started using power shards. Now power shards are from the green power slugs that are around all over the place. There is also a yellow power slug and maybe even a red one. I don't know whether the red ones, but I have seen yellow ones. And you need to go and find them, but that's fine. So I put 2 of them into here. Increase the clock speed to 200%, so that's basically the what we're going to be producing. And this now produces 10 per minute if it had enough ingredients. And right now it's just short on screws. It needs 240 screws a minute to actually keep up with 10 a minute. Now that machine needs 11 a minute of the reinforced iron plate, so even if we were running at full speed, it would still be slightly behind. However, sort of adding these power shards should be done with a little bit of care, because whenever you add, for example, I added 2 here to double the speed, but when we do that, everything else needs to be worked out, or affected. So instead of using tier 1, I had to go to tier 2 belt. Now, to tell the difference between belt, it would be nice if they were coloured differently. However, if you look at tier 1, it's got 3 lights on the side, and tier 2 has 1 light on the side. So, and you can see obviously it's moving a lot faster than the tier 1. So the tier 1 belt is got plate from over here. This again has been increased, if I remember rightly. Yep, this has been increased. So this is producing 30 a minute of iron plate. That needs 40 a minute, so we are slightly behind on it, but it's mainly being constrained by the screws because they aren't supplied fast enough. So yes, in turn, I also updated these to run 50% faster, and then that means the output's at 135 per minute. Okay, so I increased the speed of the output. We merged them both together with level 2 belt, and then I maybe increase this even a bit further when I find more power shards. Basically, I need about 3 or 4 to get that thing to run as fast as it can. But for the time being, it can run in the background. We aren't too bothered with having it run, at maximum speed output of this. This will be 4 per minute, of course. I think we're on around about half. Let's go and just quickly check on how far through. Maybe a bit more than that, but let's have a look. We are on, just over half of the the modular frames, and we've got all the motors. So I took off the motor sort of conveyor belt there and put a box in the way. So whenever we produce any motors, it'll go into a box. However, the screws up there are all dedicated to the modular frames, not to the rotors, which means this isn't really actually producing many motors. Okay, it all works though. So today we're going to get onto exploration and some other stuff that we need to research. While you're out there, you're going to find a few things. First of all, you'll see I've got a marker. You see where it says drop pod quick wire at the top of the screen? Drop pods are all over the place. There is one over in that direction, just near where the coal is. And I've already been over there and gone and picked up what it contains. It contains a hard drive. The hard drive I've put into the research, and I've not looked at it since, so I don't know what's going to come out of that, but we'll see very shortly. And then there is another one over there requiring quick wire. Now, we can't make quick wire yet because we need a new type of ore, and we don't have any ability to scan for it yet, so you have to find it in the world. I went and found it, and it's called Caterium. I think that's going to be how I pronounce it anyway, Caterium. It's smelted into Caterium ingots, and Caterium ingots are most likely used for advanced electronics. They could have just called it gold. I mean, yeah. I mean, if it looks like gold, you'd use gold in electronics along with copper, but yeah, Caterium it is. Okay, so Caterium, let's see. I had to go into research, and I put both the Caterium into here, along with a hard drive that I found in a drop pod. Now, this hard drive, this is what we get out of the output. Haven't actually managed to choose that yet, so it's giving us alternate blueprints for a few different things. One is basically iron and copper to make iron ingot. Seems a little weird. Production time 45 parts per minute. Yeah, so it is, I guess, a speed increase if you've got lots of extra copper. I'm not going to worry about too much about that, I don't think. We can always scale up if we want more iron ingot. At least for the moment. And then alternate blueprints for heavy modular frames. So what have we got in these? They're both the same. So why don't we take a look at that as well? So this one would be modular frames. it will be the encased industrial beams, it'll be steel pipe and everything else. So why don't we just take that one? Oh, in fact, hang on. Yeah, I have to select one. Okay, so I'll select that middle one. And then we have a few things we can research on the left-hand side here. Hard drive, you basically insert a hard drive and it gives you those blueprints back. However, I went and got the Caterium. Now, the Caterium I've put in here as well, down at the bottom, and you research that, and then it unlocks more stuff to craft. So, why don't we go over to the crafting? We can't do the quick wire yet because we need to actually make it from Caterium. So we haven't got any automated way of actually getting that just yet. So, let's have a look here in the craft bench. There's nothing in. I don't think there's anything in here yet. No, but there is on our drop pod. So on here, I did start going through this Logistics Mark III. It needed lots of motors and stuff. I was just waiting for the Tier 5 and 6 to complete, but I think we're going to change our minds because new stuff has appeared. First of all, there is stuff in the Tier 1. That's just more stuff for an object scanner. Tier 2, we know I've not got to the colour gun yet. It's just basically colouring stuff in your factory. And then we've got Tier 3 and Tier 4. Okay, Tier 4 we know about. Tier 3 has got the new stuff. So, we've got a medicinal inhaler, and that I think is just from the research of the mycelium. So that basically restores health. Instead of restoring one at a time, it'll restore all of it at a time. And then we've got a rebar gun, so we've got ranged weapons, which is actually, I quite like the idea of that, and that seems to be something that we can get pretty much now. So that's a good idea. We've also got Caterium technology, and this is where we get a nice boost. We basically get Blade Runners, which are basically exoskeleton suit legs, just like in Factorio. And we get the ability to make quick wire Caterium ingots and be able to scan for Caterium ore, so we can see if there's any resources closer than where I found it. So I think I want that. We've got all the things for that apart from cable. Cable is straightforward to make. So let's put in you and you. Where are you? There you go. And lots of copper wire. And we just need some more cable, which will be very straightforward to make. So the Caterium is, or at least the bit that I found, I'll show you where it is. It's on an island in the middle of a waterfall. So yeah, it's not the easiest of things to get to at all. However, we didn't need very much of it to get started, and we can always go back for more. So we're just about to get to 100. There we go. And let's get a few more just in case I will need to run any power poles or something. But in goes that. Caterium technology done. Okay, milestone unlocked. And we've got new buildings, new equipment, new parts, new scannable resources. Let's see how close the Caterium is. Scan for that. So if you don't hear a ping, it means it's still traveling, which is bad news. Oh, there we go. 600 meters, 800 meters. And I think that's the one right there. Yeah, I think that's the one where I found. There's not much more. Oh, wait. 1.7 kilometers. Okay, so we definitely want that 600 meters one, and I'll go over and check that out. You'll see also these sort of compass points are just from the beacons, so you can drop them wherever we want. A limestone normal patch is over there, so we may need that for concrete later. Okay, and let's take a look at, do we build anything else in here? We can make Caterium ingots from the ores. And I've got a little bit of the ore, but not very much. One thing I do want, however, as soon as I possibly can, is those bioskeleton things. It lets me run around faster. And Blade Runners, there they are. So what do we need for that? We need quick wire. Of course we'd need quick wire. And 3 modular frames. I could nab those easily enough, but the quick wire I cannot. I need 50 of it. Let's grab the modular frames just so I've got them in my inventory. And we can get them up here and just nab them off the production line, hopefully before it gets absorbed by the that's one, and that's number 2. I need that yellow slug over there in a second, but that's going to be for more research. And here comes number 3. There we go. All right, so let's go and have a look where that Caterium ore is again. And let's go and look and see what we can find. There it is. So 400 meters. That's not too bad. Let me skip forward until I get to it. That close Caterium spot? You see what I said about evil developers with the coal? Well, yep, they're basically saying, yep, you're definitely not getting this with a miner. So yeah, it's on this sort of outcrop over the void essentially, and we're not getting that. So we're going to have to go to the next closest one, which I think was my waterfall point. So let's go and have a look, see how far that is from here. And it's near that drop pod, I think. So let's go and head this sort of direction. Yeah, it's not too far. You see that waterfall right there? And you see how there's an island in the middle of it? That's where, or that island, I think, right there. There is a, there's a Caterium node right there. And let's go and take a look at it. So while I was exploring, and this was completely unrelated, I didn't even know there was Caterium up there, I decided to just build this foundation, and yep, there is a long drop off here, but this just lets me get up here a lot easier. There is another path up, it's not like this is the only path or anything, it's just shorter and more direct. But yep, you see this has a waterfall going off the sides, there and there, but this island right here, hopefully get an idea where it is. It'd be nice if there was a really good mapping game anyway, but there we go, and here it is. So Caterium is right here. It's a pure spot, so having the ability to send it out from here to back to our base would be a good idea. Can I actually build any miner Mark 1 out here? No, because I need a portable miner. Okay, if I have an equipment workbench, can I build a portable miner? Just temporarily. Yes, I can. Okay, and let's just take you back apart again. And now can I build a miner Mark 1? Yes, we can. So we can send it wherever we want. We'd probably have to send it sort of inland that way. Yeah, so we can turn it so it will actually come out not into the side of the hill. And then we would send it over there with, well, with conveyor. There we go. It just needs its own power source, and we don't have any power out anywhere near here. Our base is all the way over there, so it's quite a stretch. But I can get over there with power poles. That's not really much of a problem. But I don't really need that right now. I just need some of this right now. And let's just see how much I actually need. So crafting bench. If I wanted 50 of this quick wire, how much do I need? Where's the quick wire? Was it not in here? Ah, there it is. I need... Okay, so I'm going to get 4 quick wire? From 1 ingot? Is that right? Caterium ingot. That needs 4 to get 1. And 1 of these to get 4. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to get 1 for every ore, basically. So let me just get that sort of made. 1 second. And very close by to the Caterium is that particular drop pod up there that I marked with drop pod quick wire. And this is a fairly easy one to actually get up. There is a sort of anti-clockwise spiral of ground going up here, so should be straightforward. And here we are. So there is normally some stuff lying around these kind of places, but usually when you go to a drop pod, they actually require some materials to actually open them. And sometimes they're common materials, but otherwise this one isn't common. So we just open that up and we should get a hard drive out of this. And that has data that we can then go and research to get more stuff. And that did only take 1 quick wire, so quite happy. And I did pick up all the other stuff. The other stuff that you actually get over here is just circuit boards and other bits and pieces around there. We haven't got a use for circuit boards yet, but I suspect we'll have a use fairly soon now. Nothing else around that you can really interact with. So we should now head back to our base and our space elevator. And I think I'm going to start running power out here. I'm not sure whether we're going to need to run the Caterium or... Oh, there's more circuit boards. I missed them the first time. Whether we need to run the Caterium all the way back. It's actually down there, just through those trees. In fact, you can see it right there. So we're not too far away from that. And I'm not sure whether we're going to need it at the base. So we'll see once we see what all the things we can build it with are. All the things we can build with it, I should say. And I always lose the way down from this whenever I've gone back here before. Let's go down this way. Okay, so back to the base, and let's see if we can fulfill those research projects. Okay, let me just double check what that recipe was again with our equipment bench. Blade runners, we can actually make one of them. Good. Let's make all of that. Okay, and now can we equip them to our chest slot, I assume? For some reason there isn't a separate leg slot and chest slot. There probably should be, to be honest. We should be able to equip both this and the jetpack that's coming fairly, well, I imagine coming fairly soon. But yeah, so let's actually just run around. And, well, apparently this is jumping higher. I think it is. But not hugely higher. But still able to run around. That's fine. Good. In fact, can we actually was a good judge of whether we jump up before. Now, well, first of all, that I jumped higher than I should have done on that. So yeah, we are jumping higher. That's no problem. All right. So let's head inside and see where we need to do some quick wire research. Is it? Yeah, and a hard drive. So, we need 100 and we got 99. In fact, no, I've used up some of it, 49. But I think I got some. I didn't get quite enough. Okay, so let's put in our stuff and let's just put in this hard drive for research, and then I'll go and plug in that Miner Mark 1 and get it sending stuff towards our base, or relatively close to our base anyway. So hard drive, we can put the hard drive in. That's going to take 10 minutes. So and that's a good point for me to make more cable, more rod, and then we should be able to get enough power. Cable, do I have many cable? I don't have much cable. Okay, I need to make that, and then I'm going to hook up that miner. So back in a second. Okay, so for a temporary sort of solution, we've just got this single smelter here and a box, not near our factory yet, just holding basically the Caterium. And I'm just going to pick that up whenever I need it. For now, the only thing that I can see that we can make so far is a better version of the power poles. And by better, the only thing better about it is that it can have 6 connections instead of 4. Slightly more flexible, but at the same time, I'm not that concerned about it. And the other thing, of course, is quick wire for the research, or the analysis. Now, it's entirely possible that could then open up other stuff, so I want to leave it there in reserve. And it's pretty much automated. You know, we don't have to do anything other than that now. Just fill up that box until we decide what we want to do with it. So let's go and make ourselves the rest of the 100 quick wire, and then get that on the go. Where is he? There you go. So that's very, very quick to go. There we go, 100. And let's put it in here and get it going. So down to the bottom, quick wire, 100, go please. Okay, so 22 minutes. And who knows what that will come back with. However, that should be sorted for now. And I'll just put the excess in here, because I'm not actually using it otherwise. And let's just put in our various different food sources and leaves. I do have a couple more green power slugs, so I can actually upgrade a couple more things. So let's get the power shards and make a couple more. Okay, and how are we doing for power? Because I have been upgrading other things a lot. Let's just find a power pole. We're still fine. We're still about halfway, but yeah, we can do more of that later. I love that. I love that compared to the stairs. And that means I can probably just upgrade our iron ingots a little bit more. We may be short on, sorry, not iron ingots, iron plates a little bit more. We may then be short on inputs for this, but let's just give it a go and bring this up to full speed, 250%. And that's 37.5. It's still not 40. So if we want 40 a minute, we probably have to back it down so that it's 20 a minute, and then we get 2 of these, so we could extend our building out a little bit more. But no, I'm fine for now. That's just going to passively make stuff. And why don't we just go and check how far it's actually got towards this. I could go for that, but every time I get close, I get poisoned, and I'd rather not die trying to get to that yellow power slug. There is something later, once we get to oil and plastics, which is in tier 5 and 6. We are able to make a gas mask, and we can then go approach into these areas quite easily. 339 of 500, that's not too bad. It is a little bit quicker than before, but yeah, only because I was just messing around with the ratios, and I need to wait for that to finish. So I've got 160 more to go. Fine, let's skip forwards. And while the rest of that's being constructed at our sort of space elevator, over here are some rocks where we are to the south of our elevator and where our starting point is. And you'll see obviously there's a green slug over there, but there's also some sulfur here. Now I'm not sure if sulfur is actually implemented in game as to what we can do with it or anything like that yet, but you would assume it's heading towards gunpowder of some kind, explosives, and maybe being able to blow up those boulders, which would be good. And in the meantime, can we actually make it over there? I don't think we can actually make it over there, so why don't we just go for the more sensible approach and just build a nice foundation. There we go. And now we can run over there and grab ourselves green power slugs. So great to do these instead of actually just adding more parallel production lines. The downside is they use more power, but hey, we have pretty much unlimited power until we run out of the coal supply. So, you know, I'm not going to worry too much about that just yet. And we're pretty good. So, yeah, we've got some sulfur. Why don't we go and see if that can be analysed along with everything else? And, yeah. Also, one other thing while out exploring, I did find over here... where is it? There it is. You see lots of structures like that. Some of them are in caves, some of them are on top. They all say WIP after them, i.e. work in progress. I'm choosing not to collect them on purpose, just in case something happens when you actually collect them once they're implemented. But they are all over the place, so if you do see them, you know exactly what they are. And we can go from there. And also with these exoskeleton boots, I seem to be wanting to bounce all over the place as I actually jump around the map. Just let me see a little bit further. I kind of like it though. It's an interesting way of moving around. Although I think it's still actually, it seems faster than the tractor even. So I'm not even sure what that what we need that vehicle for anymore really. 418. Okay, so it's still being worked on. And let's go and look at the analysis. Okay, now quick wire analysis should be complete, so we should go in here and check. Yep, there it is. Please choose a new specimen unless we need a new analysis. Fair enough. And, ooh, we get a supercomputer. That's the next thing. That requires regular computers, or supercomputers, I guess. Yeah, we don't have those yet. Maybe researching that Caterium skipped us ahead a little bit in the technology tree. We certainly don't have computers. I think they're going to require, well, the supercomputers presumably combined from multiple computers, and they require, then I think it's tier 5 and 6 somewhere. So we're probably going to need tier 5 and 6 to get any further with that. I did also check, we don't seem to be able to research anything for sulfur yet. If I go in here, I don't get any kind of options on the left hand side, so it's possible it's not actually implemented yet, and that's something we should probably do at some point, but not worry about just yet. So we'll just keep a sample available there, and I haven't found any actual nodes of it yet, i.e. you know, infinite resources, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know where it is, and then you can obviously find it yourself in your own game, unless anyone wants to mention in the comments where it is, or if there's any other sort of ores I'm missing out on. I think there will be a few. I'm almost certain there'll be some kind of radioactive ore for later nuclear sort of power, but yeah, fine for now. So the analysis for that one is complete, and we need to get on with the next thing, which I think is just getting to the tier 5 and 6 unlock on the space elevator. And we now should have enough ingredients to do just that, unlock tier 5 and 6. Let's go and take a look. So we can pop this in. There's 3 remaining needed. We've got 3 manually here. Let's grab it and seal. So off it goes into its box. And it should be ready to send. There we go. And send. So off it goes. And you should fly off into space, hopefully. Interesting to see if actual space is going to be part of this game at any point, or we're always going to be stuck down here. Interesting. Okay, so that should be tier 5 and 6. Yeah, and unavailable in early access, so we can't get to tier 7 and 8. So there is no more need for the space elevator for the moment, which means there's no more need for essentially modular frames just yet. So let me just take that one out just temporarily, and everything can just pile back. I'm not too concerned. Because we may need to rebuild the factory now that we've got access to these anyway. Let's pop down here. Let's see what we've got in tier 5 and 6. Did I say 7 and 8 then? I meant 5 and 6 if I did. So we've got a few things. We've got oil processing, so I've got to find oil somewhere. And that, I need to make 50 more motors and 50 more modular frames. Oh my. to be able to get access to this, but we then have access to plastics, fuel, rubber, and circuit boards. Good. As well as refineries and pumps, of course. Caterium electronics, so that's the stuff we're kind of waiting for. A smart splitter, interesting. Splits conveyor belts in 3. You can set a rule for which part should go to the left and which part should go to the right. So it's sort of like a filter splitter. Interesting. And then there's the supercomputer we were looking for. So yes, yeah, the next generation of a computer, high-speed connector, AI limiter, lots of interesting stuff there. Industrial manufacturing, we have the regular computer. The manufacturer, which actually takes in 4 inputs instead of 2. And then the truck, which is basically a larger version of our tractor. And yeah, I'm not sure if that has any extra features, but that'll be cool if it did. And then in tier 6, we have the jetpack. We want the jetpack. That needs another 50 motors, 50 computers, and 50 heavy modular frames. Okay. Expanded power infrastructure, so fuel generator, presumably coming straight from our oil. We'll switch from coal to basically oil and use that. And it doesn't say how much power it produces versus coal, but, you know, we can find out. And then the gas mask that will allow us, presumably, to get into those poisonous areas and allows us to breathe normally then. So, yes. Lots. We actually need filters to actually to power it. Well, to keep it going. Yeah, so lots of stuff to get done in tier 5 and 6. Lots of stuff to expand into. I think the first one we'll need is this oil processing, because we'll need to be able to scan for crude oil, and that means I need to make more modular frames, more motors. So I will hook everything back together and put those into storage boxes so that we can grab them as and when they have enough. Okay, so I think that's a good point to stop. A little bit earlier for today's episode, but we've got tier 5 and 6 unlocked. We've got Caterium coming in from the other side of the map, and hopefully you will all find that spot quite easily, because you should be able to scan for it yourself once you've found it to find other spots. There was a couple more, one a couple of kilometers away that way. I can just scan for it now. A couple of kilometers that way, and then another one over there, I think. But yeah, the ones over there, or at least the one that waterfall, is the most easily accessible version. That one right there. And it's coming in over there to that storage box, which you can just see beyond the cliff. Alright, so next time, I think getting towards the more tier 5 and 6 stuff, I think we will have to rebuild some of this stuff or we've already built. Let's go back up to the catwalk. Yeah, so some of this stuff we need more of, really. We need more plates. So this production line here, the screws need to be upped. We don't really have enough of those to feed into these assemblers at full speed. And then the assemblers, you know, will go on to making modular frames there. And then downstairs we have the one that produces motors. So yeah, we may have to rebuild. I almost want to send this one downstairs as well. So the motors and the modular frames both get built downstairs, but yeah, we'll see, because eventually we're going to need to put another floor above where we are right now. I'm not sure how high I'm going to make that, but yeah, because we're going to need to get into those heavy modular frames and into the rest of the stuff for tier 5 and 6. Hopefully you join me for that. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a thumbs up. I'm more than happy to see those happen, and feel free to click on the bell if you want notifications. More importantly, leave comments for your fellow players and lots of advice, and we'll see you next time for some more Satisfactory. As always, guys, thanks for watching,